Hello friends, and welcome to the weekly moon update. In these videos, we talk about the moon energy as well as a little bit of astrology for the current week. In this video's case, we are talking about the week of October 27th through November 2nd. So we've got our Halloween week this week, as well as a first quarter moon. So we had our first new moon outside of eclipse season last week, and now the moon is growing and increasing with light and energy, as are you. And this week is also filled with the excitement of the holiday. So let's just jump into this week. All right, so as you can see, our first quarter moon is happening here on Wednesday, October 29th. So that means the beginning of the week is a waxing crescent moon, and the end of the week is going to be your waxing gibbous moon. So we are starting off this week with a waxing crescent Capricorn moon, which I really love to start the week with Capricorn energy. Capricorn is a cardinal sign, which initiates us into the season of winter. And Capricorn is season is the end of December, beginning of January. So it's right at that turn of the year where we're feeling motivated, inspired, we're setting intentions, we are setting goals and striving to achieve them. Capricorn is the mountain goat that climbs to the top of the mountain and achieves that goal. So it's nice to start off any week with a Capricorn moon, but it's nice to start off a holiday week with a Capricorn moon so that hopefully you're getting your to-do stuff done at the beginning of the week before the holiday on Friday. We'll be in Capricorn energy all day Monday, all day Tuesday. We're having a later in the evening transition and also a quick transition compared to what we've been seeing earlier this month. The moon will start moving into Aquarius at 11:37 p.m. and will officially be in Aquarius right before midnight at 11:57 p.m. So that means we're starting off Wednesday fresh in Aquarius energy. Aquarius season is right after Capricorn season, so it's the end of January, beginning of February. So you've already started that new year energy. You've already started that new year. So you're now like able to feel everything out. You see like you're trying your new goals, you're setting your new intentions, you're trying your new daily routine or whatever it is that you strive to do or set at the beginning of the year. And Aquarius, because Aquarius season is like in it at the beginning, it helps us understand what it is that we need to make our goals happen. So it just kind of opens and expands your mind to new ideas. We also have Mercury moving into Sagittarius on Wednesday. This is one of the first planets to move out of Scorpio energy. Mercury and Mars were already in Scorpio earlier this month and also at the end of September. So this is the start of the shift from Scorpio to Sagittarius. Scorpio helps us kind of mull around in that darkness and understand our transformation and growth. And Sagittarius is like, okay, I'm ready to go on another adventure. Like we did that thing, we made that transformation, and the Sagittarius is like, okay, what's next? Sagittarius season is also kind of that time of year where we're just kind of reflecting on the previous year and looking ahead for the future. So Mercury in this sign is very adventurous. The Mercury in Sagittarius has that feeling of writing your hero's journey, writing that epic quest of just telling the tale that is your life. and experience. So again, this kind of has this like expansive mind opening kind of energy, like Aquarius energy. So we'll be in Aquarius energy all day Wednesday, all day Thursday. Another quick, somewhat quick transition on Friday into Pisces. So we will have a waxing gibbous Pisces moon for Halloween, which personally I kind of feel is nice because Pisces likes to fantasize and dream. So it's fun to put on a costume for the evening and pretend that you're somebody else. Pretend that you're living a different life, or just having fun and handing out candy or trick or treating or whatever it is that you do for Halloween. But I like this energy for Halloween. I know, of course, everybody wants like a full Scorpio moon, but that's not going to happen. We could have a new Scorpio moon on Halloween, but we cannot have a full Scorpio moon on Halloween because our Scorpio full moon is all the way next year in May, right at the beginning of summer in Beltane season. So we're gonna take what we can get. We've got a dreamy, fantasy-oriented Pisces moon for Halloween, and that's going to kick off your Friday and into the weekend. So early in the morning, 7:46 a.m. is when the moon moves into Pisces, and we'll be in Pisces energy all day Friday and all day Saturday, a little bit of Sunday as well. The moon will start to move into Aries at 10:40 a.m. Sunday morning. So that means we'll be starting off next week with Aries Monday, which is really nice to have spring energy starting off your week fresh, especially after a holiday week. If you've stayed up late, had too much candy, and need to kind of rest and relax on Sunday, and then you can like pick off where you left off on the work week on Monday. So our card for the week is coming from Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle. We're officially into the Samhain season this week. So we got the card Apples. To taste, one must swallow it whole, and beneath the satin flame hides drowning waters. So I think this is the first time ever we have gotten an ominous card for the card for the week. I'm really surprised. I really don't think I've never had the feeling that I need to pick another card. Like when you get a bad card for yourself, you're like, oh, I'm gonna put this back in the deck, reshuffle, and see if we get something else. I've never had that feeling for the weekly moon update until I pulled this card. So instead of pulling another card, I did pull some tarot cards to kind of get some clarity, but I'm really kind of surprised because I just don't really know like what this means really. So let's just read the card and see if we can figure it out together. So the key words are deception, mistrust, and wrath. So we all know the story of Snow White taking the apple from her stepmother who masquerades as a sweet old crone. It's a wise old tale that's existed long before Disney ever made it into a movie, and a warning that things are not always as they seem. Sometimes our greatest enemy is hiding behind the mask of a savior. Death is infused into something meant to give us life, and someone pretending to be our friend is luring us into a trap. There are rotten people in the world who will take advantage of those who trust without pause. They come bearing gifts to gain your trust. Their faces are in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Those people always get their due one way or another. When an apple appears in your spread, it is a warning to pause before making any decisions about someone or a situation. You do not have all the facts yet, and there could be danger for you now. Betrayal and deception are likely, so be vigilant. You must tread carefully until everything comes to light. I don't know if I haven't read or pulled this card before. I really don't know that we certainly have never had such a negative card come up, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, because I believe that if you go into a week expecting something negative to happen, then it's probably going to happen. So I'm just not one to I don't want to put more negative energy into the situation. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about this card. I don't know what to make about it. So the two tarot cards that I pulled for clarity, two cards popped out actually, the Queen of Wands and the reversed Four of Swords. So what I was getting from this, and actually they popped out together, kind of stuck together. The Queen of Wands was on top and the Four of Swords was behind it. So it kind of made me think maybe you you're being pushed to do something that you don't want to do, or we're being pushed to do something that we don't want to do, and kind of putting on this mask or this facade like, oh yeah, everything's fine and everything's perfect, when really you just want to go home and you want to take a nap. The Four of Swords card is a card of needing to kind of take a step back, rest, meditate, reflect, really kind of self-analyze the thoughts that are running through your mind or the situation that you might be in. When it's reversed, it's like, if you don't do this, like if you don't sit down, if you don't meditate, if you don't journal about this, if you don't try to figure this situation out, like something is going to force you to, meaning like you sprain your ankle and you can't go trick-or-treating anyways. So it's like you may as well have just stayed home and rested and relaxed. Otherwise, like, you know what I'm talking, like when you don't take the time to take care of yourself, and you don't take the time to rest and relax, like, universe is going to make you do that. It's whenever you're just busy, 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 go, 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 that's when you're going to get a cold, and you're going to feel, you're just going to have to lay down. You're going to have to rest. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, the Queen of Wands wants to put on a show, wants to socialize, wants to interact with people, but having this reverse Four of Swords underneath it is like, maybe we shouldn't do the big party and the big celebration. Maybe we should just do something quiet and intimate at home, just you and a few friends, or just you on your own. I feel like this is a more positive spin on it. Like, I'm also kind of getting the sense of like, do what you want to do, not what somebody else is telling you to do. I think like maybe you feel like you have to do something because, oh, this is what we do every year. This is like what we're supposed to do. And maybe you just don't have the energy to do it, but you're feeling obligated. That's kind of the energy that I'm feeling, versus I feel like this Apples card was just like super negative, like someone's out to get you. And that just doesn't sit well with me any way that you look at it. If somebody is being deceptive in your life, like, putting more fear and negative energy into that isn't going to make anything better. So maybe if you need to take a step back and cancel plans or something this week, so that, and definitely all of us can take some time to meditate and journal this week, which we should be doing anyways, because Halloween is the time when we can communicate with our ancestors, when we can go dark, light some candles, and just kind of sit and honor the past, honor the people that were here before us. And maybe that's what we're supposed to do this Halloween, instead of going out and dressing up. However, at the same time, I'm going to tell you, like, you're never too old to dress up. Okay, so our chakra card for today. Hey friends, so this is Editing Allison here, and it's been a while since I've filmed this weekly moon update, and I've had some time to think about this card, because I've been thinking about it because I'm like, I don't want Halloween week to have this like negative connotation to it. But I really feel like this card does speak to kind of how we are feeling collectively. I think for those of us in the woo-woo community, or most of us weirdos have, and well, maybe I should just speak for myself personally. Like, I've always felt like I was on the outskirts of society, and I've never felt ever in the entirety of my life, but more specifically since I have been old enough to vote, I've never felt that there was ever a political party that was speaking for me, or acting on my behalf, or acting really on the collective's behalf. I know that like a lot of people feel very strongly and proudly about our government and are very patriotic, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm even kind of envious of that. I would love to feel like our political system and our government has our best interests at heart. But I mean, the radical truth of it is that I've never ever felt like the systems that are in place to support the collective are actually supporting the collective in any way. And I think that the current president is really not as shocking as the things that they say and do are. I really don't think that he is any different from any politician, other than the fact that he does everything and says everything out in the open. Now, I am not one to speak politically. I don't care what your beliefs are. I care about you as a person, and I'm never going to judge anybody for their political beliefs. But with that being said, I think the 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 current administration is is finally showing the mass collective, not those of us who are on the outskirts of society, or the weirdos or the woo woo people. I think that maybe the people that at one point in time did believe in the political system benefiting the collective. I think that they are unfortunately having their eyes opened to the fact that it's not. And I really don't think that it's just this one person that is currently holding office. I think that that has always been the case. And so this deceit and this trickery, I think, is really coming into play, and really coming to the surface of the collective consciousness. And I looking back at this card in this reading, I think that that might be what it is pointing to. And I really do feel that collectively, like people, I think even people who have in the past been very financially stable are not anymore. And I personally feel like how much debt can we get into? Because I mean, my credit card was declined for groceries today, and I'm just like, cool. Cool. So I'm going to live on protein drinks for the rest of my life. But I'm not like, I'm at the bottom of the financial pyramid here, but I think there are higher level tiers of people that used to be financially stable aren't anymore. And it's really just kind of like, how much more can we take? So I think that this card might be speaking more on the collective energy. I was really, really trying to like relate this card to Halloween somehow, but I really just think it's the collective energy that's coming through. And I think it's important that these things come to light, and like the Samhain season and like the dark moon time of the month, we 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 have to go into these dark times in order to find the light. It is in the darkest days that the light shines the brightest. So I think that as a community, we can really stick together and encourage each other to shine our lights, continue to shine our lights, because I mean, personally for me, I have my really, really dark days, and it's really difficult to do so, but I look to all of you and I see your light shining, and it helps remind me to kindle and reignite my own light and my own spark. So I think that we are so lucky to have these communities, and I want to encourage you that even if we have some negative energy around us, that our light is powerful enough to transmute it and to outshine that darkness, I think. It's freedom of expression. Banish fear of judgment now. Let it constrict you no longer. Know that the expression of your highest truth is protected and supported by spirit. Speak your authentic wisdom with conviction and courage. Rest assured that doing so will bring you to where you are meant to be. Share your truths from the place of loving compassion so that your words land with intention you used to compose them. This is a throat chakra card. The crystal they recommend is lazulite, which, you know what, I don't know what lazulite is. And the herb is chamomile. So this freedom of expression card made me think like, yeah, dress up if you want to. But if there is some negative situation going on in your life, taking a step back and resting and meditating and contemplating these things, contemplating your words before you say them. I have some relationship conflicts in my life at the moment, and when you do pause instead of reacting to, ow, this hurt me, and lashing out at somebody, when you're able to pause, you do remember that you love this person. Like you, and personally in the situations that I'm in, like I've known these people for so long. I know like where they are coming from. I understand their hurt and their pain, and I understand why they said what they said, why they did what they did. I understand, like, when you take a step back and look at it from a higher perspective, like, we're all struggling on this human freaking 3D earth world that is so difficult and painful, and we all have these places within us that, like, if you poke it or get too close to it, we're gonna lash out in defense, because unfortunately a lot of the things that we experienced as younger people or children caused this defense mechanism, and it's just the thing that's been put in place for since that situation happened. So then, like, when you get older, you have to kind of deconstruct that thing and say, like, okay, we can't just be lashing out at people, we can't just be defensive, and we can't just have this wall up that's totally blocking anybody from coming in. So if you want to have open, loving, trusting, and honest relationships, you do have to take a step back and look at, like, I understand where this person is coming from, and you can choose your words so that that person can better understand where you're coming from, instead of just being like, this fucking hurt me, like, fuck you. Like, that's like our initial reaction is like, ugh, I'm not talking to you anymore, you hurt me, this hurt a lot, and I'm hurting, and you're the reason that I'm hurting. But it's usually not the other person, it's usually like something inside you. But still, also, like, dress up if you want to, you're never too old to dress up. Okay, so the crystal for this week, finally something that's kind of related to Halloween. Moonstone draws the magic of the moon. It's especially potent during the full moon, with an emphasis on completion, fruition, and gratitude. Moonstone is a gem of higher purpose. It reminds you to be grateful for your current blessings and helps bring your visions and dreams to life. The affirmation is, I celebrate my manifestations and receive my blessings. I feel like this is a wonderful stone to have around Samhain as well, because it is an intuitive stone. It does help you with manifestations and setting intentions and all of that, but it does help with your intuition as well. And I think this crystal brings in that energy of remembering that, like, all of the blessings that we have in this life are probably because of our ancestors. So this is another time to kind of honor your ancestors, thank your ancestors. And I think that we can use Moonstone for meditation and for communication beyond the veil. So I think that this is a really good stone to work with if you are planning on setting up your ancestor altar, sitting with your ancestors, communicating with them, leaving offerings for them, or whatever that is. I think that Moonstone is a wonderful stone to work with for Samhain, to help kind of open up your third eye and your crown chakra, and be able to kind of see beyond the veil a little bit. So really interesting cards for this week. I really don't know, like, what in the heck is going on with this apple lady and someone trying to deceive us. But you know what, sometimes it's us, uh sometimes we are the ones deceiving ourselves. So also be wary of that. But you know what, it's freaking Halloween, people are dressed up wearing masks. Maybe some sort of fantasy is going to get out of hand, and you're going to forget who you're. Remember, Neptune is still retrograde, so we can get lost in that illusion, and then that's what causes delusion. So I don't know, I'm never going to stop fighting for your right to dress up, but I don't know, I guess just be wary about who's behind that mask or that costume or that fantasy role play. I don't know. Such a weird card for this week, but I love Halloween. Come on, let's party and celebrate. And it's on a Saturday. We can party and have Halloween all weekend long. So I hope that you have a nice week. I hope that you have fun and dress up and do whatever it is that you want to do. I hope that you feel confident enough to cancel plans if you just want to have an intimate night inside with your ancestors and your altar and just do your own magic little witchy thing. And I hope that you're able to stand up for yourself, but to remember to take a step back to see that higher perspective and choose your words wisely. Mercury in Sagittarius, since that's happening this week, we can choose our words eloquently. Like, I think it might help us see the bigger picture too. So, again, thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait to see you on the other side of the looking glass again sometime soon. Let's just cover up this apple lady.